Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Art of Creation Homestead. My name is Jason. We're going to do something a little different today. If you've watched our channel for very much at all, you understand that we're very kind of chicken focused here, chicken centric.
Yeah, with you so far, chicken farm.
We just have a basic half-acre lot, and we do all of our homesteading adventures, our food growing and chicken raising here in the backyard. Nothing out front. We have a privacy fence all the way around the house, so nobody can see in our backyard. It's pretty cool. And you never know by going by the front of our house that this is what's going on back here. But in order to do that, we kind of do things a little differently, maybe a little more input on some things than what you might think. So kind of what we're going to do today is just kind of show you our process and kind of show you the things we deal with, trying to do a homestead style life and give our chickens the best farm life possible while still dealing with basic environment of a neighborhood, because we have house here, house over there, house there, house over there, house there. We're surrounded by houses. We're in a neighborhood. So sometimes we do face a few more challenges, a little more noises, kind of how you have to deal with it sometimes. So this is just kind of how we're going to go through the basic stuff, the basic challenges of living a homestead life with chickens in an average neighborhood. All right, come on, kiddos. Get outside. Some fresh water. Now, depending on how this is edited, you might hear some of the challenges we face already is that we have dogs all around us, right? So dogs are barking constantly because people have dogs. It's okay. We have chickens. They make noise too. But like, until the chickens kind of get used to the noises, they think everything's a predator because they're always worried about getting eaten, right? And dogs are a predator. So when they first hear it, until the chickens get used to hearing the dogs barking all the time, they kind of alert, might mess with them a little bit. So that's one thing that we have to deal with, and most people do have to deal with it. Something that a lot of people will not deal with that we deal with is once a year, around July 4th, there's fireworks going off right over there. Not in the neighborhood. It's the town that we live in. The town fireworks are right through there. So for 25 minutes every July 4th evening, it sounds like we're in the middle of a war zone.
The sky is falling! The sky is falling!
Or quite literally, it's just insane. And I don't know. So that's something that really takes some getting used to for us. But like, it's just part of having chickens, part of doing your thing, because that was a lot. When we first got chickens and that was going off, there was quite a bit of stress going on, and eggs really slowed down for a little bit there. And we may have found some soft-shelled eggs and some really stressed out chickens because of it. And you see it's really peaceful right now. It's kind of calm. It doesn't always like that. There's a major highway, a major interstate right through the woods on that way over there. It can get kind of loud, especially at night. The sound can kind of travel, so it's a little noisy. It's not the end of the world. But like, also we're outside the city limits, so there's a lot of gunshots going off. I mean, like, can be a lot of gunshots. If you watched our videos for more than a couple of years, you might have heard them a lot more, because there was some videos we shot before that just gunshots just randomly went off, and it was crazy. We haven't had that as much lately, but it can happen anytime. But this is really a peaceful setting behind me. I just turned the camera around to get this shot. I love the sun setting back there. Hear the birds up here. There's orioles that typically live up here in this tree above the chicken house. It's really peaceful at this point in time. I like to listen to it sometimes. It's just so amazing. But you see how we also set this net up, right? We've got the net running all the way this way. Net's going all the way over here. It just keeps the chickens contained and keeps them from getting into things or keeps them getting out of our sight to where we don't know where they're at. Before we put that net up, there was a lot of times where a chicken might run all the way over to the other side of the fence, and we're like, hey, where'd this one go, right? And so it just kind of keeps it contained, keeps from getting in the flowers and onto the patio, because if they get on the patio, they're going to poop on the patio. Just the way it is. Dogs bark. But I also heard a pileated woodpecker back there, so that's kind of cool too. We're going to throw this one in there. Some people would ask, probably. Some people have certain beliefs on it, and that is that does the time change, because we just had the daylight savings time thing, which is spring forward, right? We just had that happen last Saturday, and they're going to want to know, does that affect your chickens? And to be honest with you, right now the answer is absolutely not. Here's our 14th egg for the day. She laid kind of late, but it's okay. Isn't that right, Layla? The reality is, chickens don't have cell phones, and they don't have watches. They know daylight and dark. So the time change doesn't mess them up. They get up in the daylight, they go to roost when it's dark. Pretty simple, right? Now certain ones might lay later, but they're gonna lay later no matter what. It's this one right here who just laid this egg, okay? Hey, Miss Elsa. She's camera shy. She's a late layer no matter what. Some chickens just lay later in the day. I understand some people think that they don't lay their eggs, past early afternoon. It's just not true. Some chickens are just going to be late layers. They might start their cycle laying later in the morning. They might end it laying early in the evening to late afternoon. Elsa there just happens to lay a little later in the afternoon. Before the time change, she could lay her egg after 5 o'clock, her last one in her cycle, that is. But this time, daylight savings time just happened, so it's a little later, correct? It's not a big deal. She just happened to lay it closer to 6 probably. Honestly, it's fine. But they can lay later in the day. The time change doesn't mess them up. How late they lay will kind of get evened out as the daylight hours start sooner, as morning starts sooner into the day, right? And so that'll even its way out eventually, but she'll always have the tendency to lay a little later in the afternoon. No big deal. Nice egg too. Another thing we kind of deal with here is airplanes flying over. That's a small private plane, it sounds like, but they fly over quite often. There's an airport way over there. There's airports over there. Helicopters come this way because there's a hospital down that way with an air pad on top of it for a helicopter pad. It's just, there's always a lot of noise here. So like there's homesteading, okay, because I'll do this for us because we do grow a lot of food. I guess you could technically call us homesteaders because we grow a lot of food, raise animals, and that produce food for us as well. So, and we do eat a lot of food. We are dependent on that food because, well, it's grown and we eat it. So that's kind of what we do, right? But so I use it for homesteading because it's not as vast as it could be, but we are doing quite a bit for our space. And so homesteading does produce its challenges in these neighborhoods. It's just how it is, especially like when we're actually technically outside the city, but we're still suburban, and the city is a small town anyways, but still city. But so we have a lot of things, a lot of varmints, as we want to call them, right? A lot of four-legged critters kind of run around, possums and raccoons, a lot of them, because towns have these ideas that you can't trap and relocate, right? So people really don't get rid of the varmints, so they kind of just multiply. They find an abandoned building. When we first moved here, 2 houses over there were empty and had been empty for a while, and they were run down, and that's where they were all coming from. There was massive amounts of possums and raccoons that we had to get rid of, and we have to do that because that protects your food. I mean, we were losing food out of our garden, and if we didn't get rid of them, we would have lost food out of there too. Eventually a raccoon would have found out how to get in there, and a raccoon gets in your coop, he wipes everybody out. Honestly, a raccoon gets in there, maybe 2 or 3 raccoons, every chicken dead. We're gonna kill them all for no reason at all, just to kill them. And so that's just what happens. So that's a challenge you face, is making sure your chickens are safe. So that's why we have 2 nets, Premier 1 nets that we hook up solar chargers to and electrify them. Is that that way we protect our food in the garden, protect this over here. It just works better that way. What they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kind of what it is. It's worth spending your money on to protect everything that you're doing, because it's really frustrating to have to deal with all the loss, right? And we don't ever want to come in and find dead chickens. It's just a mess you don't want to have to deal with. I did that as a child. It's not cool. We don't ever want to do that here. And so far, 9 years into it almost, we haven't. It's really important to us to get them out on this grass though, because overall we need to keep the chickens put up and secure. Hawks come through here, other varmints, but during the day it's no big deal. It's just hawks, and hawks probably aren't gonna get these chickens anyways, but don't want to give them a chance. So So they need to be put up and locked up during the day and protected, and certainly locked up at night and protected. But so we do want them to get on grass though, get them out of there, let them run, exercise, get grass, eat bugs, those things. So it's really important to us to have this time every evening if we can, unless it's raining or snow, to get them out. And this is a really good, really beautiful evening to get them out and let them run. And as you can tell, they're extraordinarily happy. You can also really notice the friendships that they build, because these two right here, Layla outran her, but Gravy right here likes to hang around with that one she was just with, but Layla kind of outran her a little bit. So by homesteading here in our backyard, we are limited because of our space, but you're not limited by your imagination. You can really truly do so much here. You can have Premier One nets, or mobile nets to run poultry in. Honestly, we could put some meat birds down through here and run meat birds up and down through here and have pastured chickens for meat on our property if we so chose. But we don't have the equipment to do all the killing and all the cleanup and junk. So, and we don't have nowhere to store it. It's a lot of startup. So we don't do that. We thought about it, but we don't. But at the same time, we do have a lot of things that we can do, and we can do some things to our advantages, like the privacy fence. That's an advantage. It really is, because there are coyotes in the area. I've heard them. There's a lot of woods down that way. There are coyotes in those woods from time to time. We don't have to deal with the coyotes because we're in the neighborhood, and also we're privacy fence, which the coyotes they might be able to get at that privacy fence if they really wanted to, or dig under it. But then the chickens are also locked up there. So there's a lot of things that we can use as advantages. Huh, sweetness. Now, from time to time you hear people screaming, loud cars, loud motorcycles. There's a busier road right over there. It happens. But that's part of living in the suburbs, or kind of suburbs. So our real point of this is that don't be discouraged by thinking I don't have the space or the land or the setup necessary to do this. Just realize, hey, you can do this anywhere you are. There may be some challenges that you have to face. Maybe some things that you have to, buy that you wouldn't need somewhere else. But also, hey, we do quite a bit here and don't have a massive property that we have to take care of. Kind of works too. So thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.